In the late 90s, early 2000s, a lot of people have experienced issues with the GM Poppet style injector on their 4.3 liter, 5 liter, or 5.7 liter engines. In that style, the injector is housed inside the body and there's a spring-loaded poppet valve on the end of this transfer tube. Quite often there would be carbon buildup causing issues such as a misfire. So a popular update has been the conversion to multi-port fuel injection from CPFI to MPFI, in which the injector is now at the end of the tube here, eliminating a lot of those issues. This has been a great, very successful conversion. However, some people might not have the budget to do the complete conversion, and so if they've got a misfire or an issue with one injector, they want to replace just the one injector. So for many years, the only solution has been to install another injector just like it, rather than go with the whole kit. Until today. We now offer the injector singularly in order to do one injector at a time rather than the complete conversion. So now let's walk through the process on how to swap out one of these injectors, install the new updated unit, and convert your vehicle one at a time rather than doing the complete kit here. Keep in mind this is for the General Motors 4.3, 5.0, and 5.7 liter applications. Before we get into the R&R process, let's compare side by side the old unit to the new unit. You'll notice on the old injector, we have the electrical connectors here, and the actual injector itself is housed here, which is inserted in the fuel metering body. Then the fuel is inserted into this tube, it goes up to the poppet valve, which is spring-loaded. This is where a lot of the contamination and the faults typically occur with these. Now if we look at the new one, we see we've got the electrical connector on the top here, but that transfers electricity through the wires to the actual injector, which is housed at the end here. And so now we've eliminated the problem with a sticking valve at the end. When we install the new injector, it comes with a new plate to hold it down. And you'll notice by looking at this, the new plate has a little bigger openings here, which allows that wiring to fit in there. So it's very important that you use the new plate with the new injector so you're not pinching the wires when you install it into the fuel metering body. Now let's take a look at the removal and replacement procedure. All right, let's take a look at removing the old injector from the fuel metering body. Now there's two 8mm nuts on top here in which we're going to remove. Now quite often when you pull this thing out of the vehicle there might be a little more carbon on it, and so it might be a little more difficult to get off. But you see I pulled this one off just with a 8mm socket and a nut driver. Now we're going to remove this hold down plate and we're going to discard it because we're going to be installing our new plate. Now this is the injector we're going to be replacing here, and so sometimes you might want to take a small pocket screwdriver and press and apply a little bit of pressure on the top side of it while grabbing on the underside and pulling it out. Now these things are going to have a lot of carbon built up, and so it's going to be a little difficult at times to get these things out. Sometimes you might want to even use the pliers to assist you. But now we've got the old one out, it's important to make sure that we've got the O-rings and everything looks clean in here before we're going to attempt to install our new one. So clean this thing out really good, and then we're ready for installation of the new injector. Now that we've got our new injector, we need to apply either some clean motor oil to it or some rubber assembly lube. Make sure it's not a non-silicone lubricant though. So we're going to, there's a little lineup tab. We need to make sure that that is at the 9 o'clock position in this instance, and we're going to slide this in and clip it all the way down into place. Now sometimes you might need to take another screwdriver or something to help, but you'll know it's all the way in when this shoulder here is flush with the fuel metering body. Now if that's in place, we're going to take our new hold down bracket and install it into place. It should fit down tight on all of the components here. Once that's set in place, we'll take our nuts and simply tighten them back down as they were before. Now that we've got it completely assembled, it's ready to go back in the vehicle. And so it's important on this V8 application to set up the tubes properly and make sure that you refer to the instruction sheet as to how to route the tubes once you install it back in the intake manifold. If you have any other questions, see some of our videos online on proper installation of the injector unit. Now we've just displayed how to do it on a V8 application. Here's a setup of a similar instance on a V6 application. So you can see we have the solution to replace the updated injector for your V8 application as well as your V6. Again, make sure to pay attention to the installation guide, the instruction sheet on how to route the tubes properly. Any further questions, refer to our additional videos online.